Hi everyone. We're just going to wait a minute or two before we get going on this webinar, just to let people come in first. Once we are ready, we can get going. Just wanted to check that people can see my screen as well. So if you are having any issues seeing anything, then please just let me know. Hi to everyone that's joining. Just going to give it 1 minute while we let people in. Do let me know if you are having any issues hearing or seeing me or my screen that is being shared at the moment. Perfect. Right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for this Business Central Quick Start webinar. This afternoon, we're going to go through in about 30 to 40 minutes a bit more in detail of what Business Central is and how it can help your businesses specifically, and then specifically why we implement using a quick start method for certain businesses and where you can get benefit for that from. So to start us off, so we'll go through just a bit about who Advantage are. We'll go through the Business Central solution for those who don't know what Business Central is, does, or fits. We'll go through the challenges that we see as a business and I see on a day-to-day basis with my customers and prospects that are looking at Business Central and how Business Central targets a few of those specifically. Then we'll go through the package offerings and the Advantage support around that, and then we'll leave some time a Q&A at the end. If you do have any questions throughout the session, please just use the Q&A box. We'll get to them at the end, or if there is anything that I see just midway through that is worth answering, then I'll try to answer them as we go. So, my name's Joe. I am the new business sales lead here at Advantage Business Solutions, Business Systems. So I've worked in the industry for coming up on a decade now. I actually started on the accountancy side, so I started wanting to be an accountant way back when. And then very quickly transitioned into utilizing the product more. So I actually used Business Central as a product. That's how I got introduced to it. And then really transitioned over to the consultancy side, so actually implementing this system for a lot of businesses over a period of three to 4 years. And then for the past 5 years, I've been in the sales side, so actually helping businesses see how Business Central can work for them and how we can utilize the technology and the evolving technology that comes with it to continuously help them. In terms of Advantage, so we are an ERP, CRM, and IT services business that sits all under one roof. So we look to do everything across the Microsoft cloud and utilize the technology across that cloud to be able to put in solutions for our customers. So we are privately owned. We have over 40 employees. We are based mainly down in London, but as for some of you, you might be able to tell my accent isn't quite so south. I'm based in the Midlands, but we are based up and down the country, as is a remote world now. Specifically, what we do is we have a select group of clients that we work with across a few different niche specializations. So we really have some great experience in certain client groups. And it's something that, as a business that has been around for kind of 25, 30 years, over that time, we've built up products, we've built up experience in certain niches, and we really want to focus on helping clients in those specific niches. Today's focus is that SMB niche. So really helping smaller businesses look to grow, look to push themselves into the latest tech and be able to push their growth across that. One thing that we always do is we will do solution over system focus. So today we are going to go through specifically a system, but actually when we talk to you, what we want to make sure is that we're putting in the right technology into you and not trying to shoehorn in a system just for that to work with you. And because we work across the whole cloud, we are able to do that. We don't just have to look at one simple app in itself. We can look at a difference of tech to make that work best for you and also be most cost efficient for you as well. So we are a tier one cloud solution provider with Microsoft. So we've got a great relationship with Microsoft, a direct relationship with Microsoft around our cloud solution providers. We are a solution partner. That is a designation that we've acquired for business applications and also modern work. So again, that's something that we go through as a business in terms of certifications to get that. And we are also a designated Microsoft Jumpstart partner. So really helping businesses get started with Microsoft tech, specifically around the ERP and the CRM space. And that's something that we work directly with Microsoft for to push that. So in terms of how we are set up, so I mentioned there that we do our core IT services. So at its base, we can manage your IT services, we can manage cloud services, whether it's hardware, software. There's a multitude that we do across that, including security as well. But that really just sets the base of what we look for. We want to be able to make sure we can support our customers across our IT services. So that is kind of the core where we start. We then build up into the CRM and the ERP solutions. And today specifically, we're going to focus on Business Central. We did a webinar last week that you can go back and watch on the CRM solutions, so specifically around what Dynamics can do in a CRM capacity and around the Power Platform. But you'll notice here that the Power Platform kind of straddles both of them. And it's basically a way for us to use technology and be more flexible to be able to create solutions for people without having to, again, shoehorn ourselves into one specific product. Our QuickStart packages sit on top of that. We do out-of-the-box implementations as well that might be bigger than QuickStart packages. So today, from what you're seeing, if actually a QuickStart isn't right for you and you're a bit further in your journey, actually we can look at standard out-of-the-box implementations, or we also do bespoke niche specializations. But again, that's into certain industries that we've got real experience in and specific products for that we've built or works with companies to build around those industries. So, core Business Central operations. So in terms of what you get from Business Central, and I mentioned there it's an ERP solution, which simply means Enterprise Resource Planning Tool. Doesn't really mean too much in terms of the words, but in terms of what it does, is it's a finance system at its core that then enables us to float out into the rest of the back office systems as well. So it comes from core finance, you've got sales processing, purchase processing, fixed assets within that. Specifically within our QuickStart packages, this is where we really focus in the first instance because we do a lot of upgrades from certain systems that I'll talk through in a bit. But actually, those are the kind of four first key things that we look at in terms of improving processes or looking at pain within your current processing. We've then got stuff like automated bank recs, multi-currency, multi-entity, inventory management that all sits within Business Central as well. So again, that kind of takes you up to the next level, moving away from a finance system, more into that business software level, being able to do more stuff around multi-currency, being able to work with multiple companies, being able to do your inventory management, and that flows out to stuff like warehousing as well. But then we've also got stuff like native Excel integration. So being a Microsoft product, we can actually use that quite heavily. We've got KPI and dashboarding and Copilot that's built into the product as well. So we've actually got the ability to utilize AI across the products that's actually what I always say is native interoperability, which essentially means that it's built in the product for the product and works kind of as one. You're not going somewhere to get it. There's much more that you can get in Business Central, stuff like projects, warehousing, I've mentioned, manufacturing, all the way up. But I don't want to focus on that too much today. If that is something that you need, please feel free to get in touch with us. We can absolutely help with that, but it's just not a focus of today's webinar. So in terms of the value add, so what I always say to people is that when you're looking at your business and how you're operating, there'll be one or multiple of these 8 things that you will need to look at and actually maybe struggling with. So from our side, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we focus in on what specifically your pain points are. Now, it might be that you're struggling to increase income. It might be that you've got loads of manual processes, so we need to improve automation. It might be that it takes too long to make decisions and you're falling behind the curve, so you need to make them faster. All of these things are basically opportunities for us to focus in on where we can really add value from our side. Also create a good return on investment when you are doing it, but really be able to set you up to succeed going forward. Now, we're going to focus on three specific areas of these today, but again, there's different ways that we can look at where Business Central can add value, and it adds it across all 8 of these pieces. But today we're just going to focus on 3. So the first one is improving automation. So one of the real key things when you're moving from smaller systems up to something like Business Central is we can actually improve the banking automation that sits around it. So again, I mentioned Copilot there, so we can actually start to use AI to auto match transactions across our banks and utilizing our bank reconciliations. We can also do payment runs as well. That all sits around the banking automation. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to select pieces that we know are historically manual or can take quite a lot of time, or also can carry risk in them as well. Banking is one of those things that can create a massive amount of risk around payments and actually getting that right. So the more accurate that we can be at this stage, the reduced risk that we do, but also the speed of processing really goes up in terms of being able to do these manual tasks. We've also got stuff like the purchase process. So having a purchase order system that's available in Business Central that links to your general ledger, so you can actually track what you're purchasing, you can approve stuff. Again, it's improving that automation rather than having to send emails around to get approvals. Having visibility of that process as well from a finance perspective and speeding up the finance side of it in terms of, okay, well, purchase invoice comes in, what have we bought, who's bought it, has it been approved, so on and so forth. So really speeding up that and also pushing that across the wider business as well, so it doesn't just all sit on finance. They've got a massive inbox to manage. People can go and raise them themselves, and you've got the security of knowing that there's automation and approvals behind it, being able to support that. And then you've got stuff like financial automation. So for the accountants in the room, like myself, we're trying to take away some of those manual day-to-day or month-end tasks specifically. One good example is the deferral schedule. So being able to automatically defer revenue or expenses across multiple months without having to post those accruals every month. And the system will handle all of that and the reversals itself. There's plenty more where this comes from around the accruals, around prepayments, being able to automate that piece, but also when it comes to generating reports as well. The month-end process, again, is one of those things that it can take quite a while to close month-end. What we typically see is people can go from something like 10 days to close their month-end down to kind of 3 to 5 days pretty regularly. I've had some that have kind of closed in 2 days because actually there's so much optimization that we can make around the month-end processes, the reporting that comes off the back of that, and being able to give the business the information it needs. There's more than this as well. So I just wanted to pick 3 specific ones out. But again, this is the same across sales process optimizations, inventory, warehousing, project management. There's more functionality within these specific processes as well. But one of the things that we really want to do is level up your functionality. So if you're coming from another system, is how do we level it up? How do you start to utilize functionality that bigger companies are able to get access to that previously smaller businesses wouldn't have been able to access to? But that's why we do something like the QuickStart to get people on, to get people using the automation and to get the benefit of using it as well. So growth capacity. So I mentioned a few times the systems that you might be coming from. The most 3 common upgrades that we do are Xero, Sage, and QuickBooks. The reason being is those systems are fantastic for small businesses, but they do have a limit. They have a limit of where you can get up to. They have a limit of how much resource you have to add to your business just to stay on the same system. It limits the growth. It limits the ability for you to kind of move forward as a business as well. And it eats into your profit margin. restricts your ability to increase that income as well without having to exponentially add people onto it. So a large part of what I did consultancy wise was actually moving people away from systems like this. There could be older systems as well. So stuff like PS Financials. I'm trying to think of others off the top of my head now. It could be something like where you're coming off Dynamics GP. So a previous Dynamics product, Microsoft are moving more people towards Business Central, and it is a natural progression for those businesses. So older systems as well that are limited in terms of how much automation you can do in them, how much benefit you can get from them without having to put thousands and thousands of pounds into it to create automations, and then also sitting on unsupported systems as well, which is not what we want. It could be that you are a brand new business and you're coming straight from Excel and need something that you want to grow pretty easily into over time, and Business Central is again a great option for that. There is more investment in the likes of Xero and QuickBooks, but once you're on it, it gives you the ability to then scale up pretty quickly, and that is a good option for a lot of businesses as well if they are kind of starting from the ground up and going from there. So again, all of these routes lead into Business Central, and something that we do, that is our day-to-day. Our day-to-day is moving people off these systems onto Business Central and seeing the benefits that you're going to get from those systems specifically. Just to pick on kind of two specific functionalities that are pretty common across when people are looking to upgrade is one, multi-company. So being able to do intercompany, being able to do consolidations, being able to hold more than kind of 1 or 3 or 5 companies in a system, and having a central point to manage all of that. Business Central doesn't really have a limit on company sizes. You could have 20, you could have 50. It gives you the ability to do that. It gives you the ability to have intercompany. It gives you the ability to consolidate across all of that, and makes that process a lot easier rather than having to go through a manual piece. Now, that is one of the most common things when people are looking to move off smaller systems is they're going multi-company. But the other side of that is stuff like multi-currency. So being able to use multi-currency in system, have that data stored in system, updated regularly. You can either do that through stuff like float rates, but we actually also work with partners like xe.com that are able to kind of benefit that if you are selling across multi-currency, multi-jurisdictions, so on and so forth, to be able to kind of maximize the profits that you've got as well across that. So again, it's just trying to give you mature functionality as your business changes and as your business kind of moves up, to be able to justify moving to something like Business Central, being able to provide that pretty quick return on investment for you as well. So the last one that we look at out of those kind of value adds today is faster critical decisions. So it's great if we can improve automation. That'll improve the processing time. It'll improve staff experience as well, give you more ability to grow. Having a system that enables you to grow into that as well is fabulous. But actually, what does this come down to? Well, it's coming down to how do we then consistently grow? And being able to consistently grow is by making fast decisions as a business and making the right decisions at the right time as well at those points. If you're a month behind having the data to make a decision, someone might have already made that decision, and you're already kind of second to the crunch at that point. So from our side, it's making sure that we, one, provide you the information in system. So Business Central from a user experience perspective is along that Microsoft line. It's familiar to people, but also you can get information pretty quickly from system, and that's something that we'll help you with as part of an implementation. But then we can also push that information to Excel quite easily if needed to as well. Now, that's great, and other systems will do that. So what else can then we do to be able to really level up what you're doing as a business? Now, one of those things is using KPI and dashboards. So within the tool itself, you can see KPIs, you can see dashboards on your home screen as you log in, so that you can see the information you need at a fingertip. So actually, if you can see that, okay, the sales order's not gone out today, or actually we're low on, we haven't sent out this contract to someone, you'll be able to see that really easily from a KPI perspective if you set that up. And what that allows you to do is then make those decisions on the fly and be able to action those quickly, so that then you're not going to be waiting potentially weeks or even a month to know that something hasn't been sent, or actually why is that order not coming that we were expecting. So again, stuff like that is really important. And again, we can level this up again. So we start in system and we can go all the way through to something like Power BI. Now, this is Microsoft's business intelligence tool. It's where you can create custom reports for yourselves. The one on screen is just a really basic Americanized Power BI, but actually that can then give you even further levels of detail specific to you as a business to be able to make those decisions going forward, to take into board meetings, to make a decision daily. I always use the example of one of my old CEOs used to have it on his phone, and he would be out and about and he could always see where we were from a sales perspective. So could always let me know actually where he would know where we were at, as long as I kept my stuff up to date, which obviously I did. He could then see that and make decisions for the business as he's kind of out and about, and doesn't need to kind of consistently come back to us to get information. So really those three things are where we focus in on QuickStart. It's where we see the most benefit with our customers that have gone through the QuickStarts. And actually it allows us to really show that return on investment to a business. And the investment itself, so we've got a few different QuickStart packages. Now, for people that are just wanting to really get up and running on a finance system, we do a rapid QuickStart implementation. And this is really basic out of the box stuff. We use a best in practice template general ledger. We make sure that you've got kind of your sales invoicing, your purchase invoicing set up, your cash management, making sure that you can do your VAT and your VAT returns that links to HMRC. You'll get some out of the box reporting as well, so you can still gain the benefits of having those dashboards in system, but actually it's not going to be overly tailored to you at this stage. But that's why we offer it. It's meant to be quick. It's meant to be within a matter of days/weeks to get this in for you, to get data in, to get you trained so that you can actually get up and running with a solution and start seeing those benefits pretty quickly. That doesn't mean that you can't do stuff after that. Absolutely you can, and we'll work with you as part of your account management, as part of your business consultancy. We'll work with you to make sure that you're getting the best out of the product. But actually that's where we want to start. We then move to something a little bit more intense, which is Essentials. Again, it's only a small uplift, but we do a little bit more around kind of the processes specific to you. We might look at purchase ordering processes, sales ordering processes. We'll look more around users and approvals. And we'll do some enhanced training around that as well. So just making sure that you're a little bit more comfortable. Again, we're still doing one company setup. We're still doing this pretty quickly. We're talking weeks of doing this sort of stuff. But actually, it just makes sure that from your perspective, you've got a little bit more time with us. And this is for those people that might be coming off the likes of Sage or Xero, or even QuickBooks probably. Xero and QuickBooks are probably usually the main two that we see with our Essentials. But actually, it allows us to just make sure that we've got everything that you've currently got with some really nice additions. And again, so you can see that return on investment pretty quickly. A lot of this stuff, we're looking to pay you back within that first year, if not within the first 6 months, just from process optimization, just from utilizing more mature functionality as well. So again, this is something where we've priced this on purpose because, one, we want to get it in quickly, but we also know that the return of that investment is very quick as well. And we see that with a lot of businesses. Again, I've been doing this kind of almost a decade now and seeing this kind of almost probably 100 plus times, in that actually we really see benefits from doing the quick start options with people. We then do an advanced quick start. So for those who might need a little bit more in terms of a couple of companies, you might want to do some more consolidation or intercompany stuff. We look at fixed assets. We also look at stock management as well. So there is an option for this without stock management. It does come in a little bit lower, but this is where we start doing some stock management stuff. Again, trying to get you onto the system quickly. It's still looking at that year, kind of that year maximum payback for that return on investment, especially if you are growing as well. That's where that can start paying you back even quicker once you're up and running. Again, we want to be getting this in within a matter of weeks, because the quicker you get it in, the quicker you can start realizing that investment, the quicker you can start optimizing your processes and start working better as a business as well. So again, that's a little bit higher. So we're starting from 26 on that one. If you don't take stock management, it's a little bit lower. But again, it's making sure that we've got levels for people when they're going through implementation. Now, again, we do offer out of the box implementation. So if this doesn't fit you and you want more time with us, absolutely fine. That is something we do. But this is a really good starting point for us to open up a conversation to see if it's something that could fit to you. Once you've gone through the quick start, we'll move you on to support, where you'll be on our help desk, so they can help you with any issues that you might be having. You'll get an account manager that can help you on your journey. And again, this isn't something that we just want to put this in and then leave you to it. It's an evolution. We want to make sure that you're getting the most out of the system, that you're doing the right things. And as you see that investment come back, you can actually start to feel more comfortable to continue that journey. How do we get the most out of the system? Actually, we've got specific processes that we want to do with you. How can you help us? That sort of thing. So we'll bring the business consultancy in, and then we'll also do some strategic reporting with you around that as well. So what happens next? So if you do want to know a little bit more about QuickStart, please feel free to book in an initial 30-minute call with us. So you can get in touch with us via our website. You can email myself at joe.edwards@advantage.co.uk, or you can give us a ring. So having that initial 30-minute call, what we'll do is just understand where your pain points are, understand what functionality you need from the system in more detail, and just get an idea of can a quick start work for you? What is the real focuses that you want from an implementation, from changing system, or actually you're getting pain, you don't really know where to go? Absolutely have that conversation with you. It might not be Business Central, it might be something else, but we're more than happy to have that conversation. Should you go through that and actually Business Central is a good option, we'll give you a demo of Business Central. So just understanding from your side, understanding what you're getting, understanding how it can work for your business, and making sure that you feel comfortable that actually it's a good option. We'll then offer you a quick start proposal. So based on what you need, what we've gone through in that initial call, what we go through in the demo, we'll give you a quick start proposal for what we could say works. And there's also options for Microsoft funded workshops as well. So thank you for everyone for attending. Really appreciate your time. If there is any questions, feel free to pop them in the questions box or in the chat at this point. But if there is nothing, really appreciate it. Thank you for attending. Feel free to get in touch, and we hope to see you soon. Cheers.